Howdy everyone, Waffles 2 again. And since our successful moon landing in the last episode, we were able to refine our launch vehicle a little bit. Mostly our lander and transit stages were lightened up over a ton. So we're going to include some additional science gear to do a little more science on our way to our target. We've also added additional lockers up in the capsule for snacks, so we can perform a longer range and endurance mission than before. So, we will now solve the age-old mystery of the Kerbals. Is Minmus made of lime pudding? Those little solid rocket motors that we just kicked off are the Ulage motors from the KW rocketry pack. They're mostly intended for, they do the same thing as a Sepratron does, only for much larger stages. But in this case, our thrust-to-weight ratio off the pad is pretty low, about 1.2 to 1. So it would take a long time to accelerate up to speed. So I figured that would be the most economical way to just give us a little kick off the launch pad so we can start sailing into thinner air just a little bit sooner. So the mods I'm using, if anyone is interested, I've got difficulty mods, deadly reentry, remote tech, and TAC life support installed. Mostly so I have to plan my approaches, missions, and recoveries a little more carefully. There's some enhancement packs I've installed. Chief among them are the Keythane pack and the Kerbal attachment system packs. We'll get into what I plan to do with that quite a bit later. Kerbal Engineer Redux, which you can see up there. I mostly use it for the displays when I'm flying into orbit. That way I don't have to keep switching to the map view, which gets a little dull for recording videos. Although I've gotten to where I don't trust it as much as I used to. It's gotten really twitchy, and I've heard other people complain a little bit about it. It's still a really good tool when it decides to work right, but it's not as well behaved as it once was. And the pure parts packs I'm using are mostly KW rocketry and procedural wings. There are some individual pieces I downloaded for the Mark III airplane chassis, and I'm looking at adding V.23 aerospace very soon. Anyway, so there's our first stage separation, and got a few fireworks off of it, off the engine exhaust. But honestly, I feel about as badly for spent stages as I do discarded gum wrappers. Though, honestly, it would be nice not to discard all of the hardware, like the engines and other hard parts. I may have to play with a shuttle sometime, goof off with that a bit. But regardless, back to this mission. Rambled long enough. This looks like an excellent ascent profile thus far. I think I mentioned in my last video I was still looking for that sweet spot with this launch vehicle, and it looks like I may have done it. Of course, it also might be that we saved a lot of weight off of the upper stages, and the farther up you can cut weight off, the bigger the overall effect is on the whole vehicle. Saving half a ton off your lander means saving 5 tons or more off of your overall vehicle mass. And I know it's not a big deal in game yet, but I keep hearing rumblings about they're going to be adding money soon, possibly in the next update. I know the next few versions are going to just focus on career mode. That means reputation and money and all these things we've never had to worry about before. Honestly, I'm a little concerned they may add a lose state to the game, and I don't know if it needs it. I don't think every game has to have a lose state. People have been playing this just fine for the better part of 3 years now, and very few people have been whining about not being able to lose the game. It's a game very much about your own goals and rewards and what you want to get out of it. So why have the game dictate to me what I want out of it? I guess that's my point. But good point or bad, we are now in orbit, and it's time to plan our mission. Let's see, we've got a very little left of the upper stage motor. We're not quite circularized, but let's see. Got to figure out, let's see, we want to go to Minmus. And it can be a little difficult to nail sometimes because of that inclination. But I think, oh. We might be able to catch it right near its... oh, we got to go now! Burn, go! Whoa, what's going on? Wait, oh. Our burn delta is going up. I think I just royally screwed this up. Abort or commit, commit, we're going for it. Jerkin, in the true pioneering spirit, has said, I will figure out how to make this happen, no matter how screwed up it gets. And we are pretty screwed up. Looks like we're going to be off a few degrees, but hitting Minmus compared to hitting Duna or Joule or Elu is still pretty easy. It'll probably require a mid-flight correction to account for that. What the? And now we're flying out of Kerbin altogether. I don't think this is going to win points for being the most efficient transfer ever done before. But that looks close. I think if we can drop our periaps, there we go. I'll even it out, and then I monkey it all up. Screw it. Start over. Okay. Try again. All right. Drop it down. There's our encounter. Speed it up a little bit more. Oh, that's a little too low. And it decided we wanted to look at the encounter with the moon farther down the orbit instead of our encounter with Minmus. All right. That's okay. We know it's there, and we will make it happen anyway. Okay. All right. We're moments away from our little correction burn. Get lined up for that. We'll go ahead and run our high orbit report now. And quick burn. That's all it takes. Just, yeah. There we go. It's still not showing us our encounter. I know it's there. It has to be there. It better be there. We'll go have Jerkin go retrieve the samples out of that materials bay, since it won't be coming with us. As soon as we stage off the transit stage, we'll lose it. Anyway, on to Minmus. Let's see if there it comes slowly. Still no encounter showing. I know there's an encounter there. There has to be an encounter there. There better be an encounter there. God, minute is getting so close. We've got to encounter it. So we haven't even hit our periaps just yet. Come on. Please be right. Please let me be right. Pretty please let me be right. It's so close now. There's no way we can't encounter it. The computer's borked if it thinks otherwise. And we have our encounter. We are now in upper Minmus orbit. We'll go ahead and take our goose sample report, our crew report, which, oops, I need to turn on the antenna to send that back to Kerbin. And mission controls on the wrong side of the planet. That won't do. Alright, take our EVA report, get back in, and I guess we'll settle in for our capture around Minmus and see if we can get our reports off. This is mission controls being uncooperative so far. Can anything... This has just been one of those flights that things are just not quite going well. But that's okay. It's frustrating for me, entertaining for you. And I hope you are entertained. I wonder how close to over the horizon is mission control? It looks like it's right there. It looks like we should have a line of sight to it. I guess not. Maybe if we just wait half an hour or so, we'll have a line of sight to mission control, and that looks good. Jerkin reports in that he's ready and raring, and all systems go. Mission control reports back. Clear to continue mission. Circularize around Minmus and stand by for further orders. Roger, out. Okay, and sail by the big puffy green ball. Kind of, yeah, it does kind of look like a lime pudding with whipped cream, actually. I'm hungry now. Anyway, let's get ourselves captured here. Minmus is pretty easy. It's actually using a Mooner lander for a Minmus mission is overkill of the same sort that using a bazooka to flies is. SWAT flies. I speak English good. Anyway, we'll go ahead and sail around to our periaps and lower our apoaps down. And just like our moon mission, we'll once we're in a good orbit, we'll evaluate possible landing sites and decide where to bring her down at. Because the gravity is so low on Minmus, I want to try to bring her down in a mixed area, an area of mixed terrain. Because I know you can get quite far on just your EVA jetpack, and I found out that in the current update, they now have included different biomes on Minmus, and but I started avoiding the forums after that, not wanting it spoiled, because I want to actually explore Minmus on my own and see what I can find just by my own reconnaissance. But that's it. We are circularized. Let's see. Take some our EVA and crew reports. Go ahead and send those off and get instructions from. They're on the far side of Kerbin again. We're cut off again. Comms has been a problem on this mission. Anyway, Jerkin decides screw mission control. He's gonna do this his own self. He knows what to do. He knows what he's here to do, and he knows how to do it. So he picks his own landing site from orbit, and just gets set up to do the correction burn to put him on a orbital plane to intersect where he wants to bring her down at. Okay. Figures. Well. They hand out medal or court-martial. One's as good as the other at this point. And that's it. We're set up. We've changed our orbital plane. One last attempt to contact Mission Command to inform them what's going on. And we have no connection. And now Kerbin's about to drop to the far side. Our batteries are about dead, so we have to shut that thing off and let our batteries recharge. We don't want to be on the dark side of Minmus with the batteries dead, after all. Now, well, we're on our own. We're completely running this without any assistance from mission control whatsoever. So we'll go ahead and bring our periaps down. So we're just skimming the hills, just above our landing site. The lower, the better. That looks pretty good. Swing around again. And still no contact or mission control. We're on our own. Approaching landing site. We're gonna drain the fuel out of that and bring her down. But that'll be in our next episode. Ciao.